In the hospital's shared bathroom, Qin Yuan was alone trying to heal his soul. He thought to himself, I really am guilty, but such a big bathroom, all to myself, feels like a waste. Then he smirked mischievously and pulled out a few summoning cards. Since that's the case, I might as well summon someone to attend to me. Just then, one of the summoning cards slipped from his fingers and fell. Oh no, I messed up. It won't break if it lands in the water, right? Qin Yuan anxiously looked on as moaning Shuang emerged from the water in a bathrobe. She smiled brightly and said, Oh, is it finally my turn? Wow, here came the top-tier summon folks. Qin Yuan's excitement was palpable, but he felt a bit uneasy. He had accidentally summoned a final boss. She made a small request. Junior Yanan and Yai Li Na have already been summoned. I shouldn't be summoned for a shorter time than them. Qin Yuan gazed at her, captivated and momentarily forgetting everything else. Senior Mo, didn't you used to wear skin-tight clothes all the time? She replied, wearing a blue bikini that left little to the imagination. Just sometimes. I wanted to experience a bit of the different cultural atmosphere. What's wrong? Don't you like it? Even someone as thick-skinned as Qin Yuan can feel a little shy sometimes. You can't tell whether I like it or not. Moaning Shuang lowered her head, looked down, and blushed. It seems I was a bit careless. She then started cleaning the pillar for Qin Yuan. A moment later, Qin Yuan was humming in the bathtub when a foot stepped close by. Oh wow, someone got here early. Liv Yi had turned back into a child, but still had the body of a grown-up. Seeing her holding a float and about to jump into the bathtub, Qin Yuan stopped her. Liv Yi, what are you doing? You see I'm here, and yet you still want to come over. And why are you dressed like that? Liv Yi gave a very convincing reason. It's fine. I'm not here to take a bath anyway. This pink bathtub is such a waste if I don't get to swim in it. After a few minutes, noticing that Qin Yuan didn't respond, she casually asked, Really? Could it be? My outfit is making you? He scrunched his whole face as if trying to hold back something, saying, No way, of course. Sister Lin only has charm when she grows up. In his mind, he was groaning endlessly. Senior Mo. Liv Yi pouted, looking a bit adorable. That sounds really unfun. Suddenly, I want to get a little closer to you. Liv Yi always has charm. With Liv Yi getting closer, Qin Yuan just couldn't take it anymore. Boom! A holy light shot up from below Qin Yuan, sending Liv Yi flying away. 2 days later, the first file about the mother's body was successfully unlocked. The data appeared. Name, Ouyang Xuan. Height, 167 centimeters. Weight, 48 kilograms. Blood type, O. Occupation, teacher virus compatibility, 95.4%. So the mother's body is a female teacher named Ouyang Xuan? Qin Yuan asked to confirm. Liv Yi looked at the photo and said, I remember her a bit. She volunteered to help raise money for students with terminal illnesses. I never thought she would become the mother's body. Qin Yuan raised a concern about the situation, but even if we know who the mother's body is, where are we supposed to go to find her? No wonder Lin Yi is one of the leading researchers on viruses. He immediately provided the results. The host bodies will behave like normal zombies, completely losing their rationality. However, the host body will experience issues with energy and mental state. They will continue to maintain their previous lifestyle. In other words, she still believes she is teaching at the university. Jake Su exclaimed, Great! Now that we know the location of the host body, we can go. Qin Yuan, let's go! He seemed a bit different, and he asked, Huh? You seem really upbeat today. Jack Su suddenly trembled. She growled and was taken over by the zombie virus. Handsome. I want a handsome man. Qin Yuan tried to restrain her. Why are you acting out again? This situation is starting to get serious. He turned to the Lin sisters for help. What are you just standing there for? Come help me out. Dr. Lin offered a solution to Qin Yuan. There are still some lingering viruses in her system. If there's nothing urgent, you can help cleanse them from her body regularly. Qin Yuan was surprised as he realized the path that Dr. Lin had drawn for him. Really, is that true? After finishing the scene, he easily pushed Jidai Xu aside. Well, if that's the case, then there's no other choice. Qin Yuan began to shoo everyone out to get on with things. You all should go outside and relax a bit. The way you're looking at me is really weird. Liv Yi took out her notebook, eager to record the process. This is crucial in dealing with the virus. Get started. I want to document this. Dr. Lin had a perfectly reasonable explanation. This is my room. Why should I have to leave? Jack Xu, lying on the bed, kept whining. Pretty boy, bring me the pretty boy. He decided to go all in. Fine, since you want to see the unfiltered full HD version, I'll show you. Liv Yi acted like an action movie director, guiding Qin Yuan. Hey, your movements shouldn't be so stiff, and don't hide the important details. From this angle, you look really bad. Hearing her, Qin Yuan got frustrated. Can you be quiet for a moment? Are you an action movie director or something? Plus, with her current state, it's really hard for me to manage alone. Dr. Lin expressed her willingness to help, saying, how do I support in something like this? Then her sister pushed her in, saying, just go in. Didn't you say you wanted to help me? This is the time. Why do you have to hesitate? Now Qin Yuan felt empowered, sporting a smug grin. Since you're here, I'll make sure you stay safe. I'll help cleanse the poison. While the other three were fighting, Lin Yi blushed with satisfaction as she took notes, saying, this information is really valuable. 2 hours later, Jia Xu and Lin Lai were sleeping soundly in bed, exhausted from everything that had happened. Qin Yuan, channeling his inner bad boy, stood on the balcony with a cup of coffee, enjoying the view. Phew, I'm so tired. From behind, the mini version of Lin Yi sighed, I can't believe even my little sister got caught up in this. Qin Yuan hurriedly explained, it's a long story, but Jia Xu needs more time to stabilize. This time, when it comes to finding my mom's body, I might have to do it alone. Loli, with a proud expression, suggested, if you beg me, I could take her place and keep you company, you know. Without thinking, he quickly rejected the idea. That won't work. Jia Xu can still fight. You're just a little girl. Wouldn't you just get yourself killed? Out of nowhere, Lin Yi pulled out a Glock 17, loaded it, and looked at Qin Yuan with a serious expression, startling him. Hey, don't mess around. That's a real gun. What if you accidentally shoot it? Crash. The cup in Qin Yuan's hand shattered. Lin Yi offered several reasons why Qin Yuan should take her along. Don't underestimate me. I've received professional training. Otherwise, how could I have survived in the lab? Besides, you don't know anything about zombies, so you really need me. Still shaken, he stared at the broken cup. I guess I don't have much of a choice. I hope we can work together happily. The next day in a high school, a crowd of zombies gathered on the soccer field. All of them were female zombies standing in formation as if they were exercising. Lin Yi and Qin Yuan were hiding in the bushes near the school, watching closely. Qin Yuan noticed something unusual and asked, aren't zombies supposed to lack intelligence? Why are those zombies lined up so orderly? They look just like regular people. Lin Yi explained that's because the consciousness of the mother body can influence the surrounding zombies. In the mother body's subconscious, the desire to return to their previous lives is controlled by this mental wave. Qin Yuan then asked, so what should we do now? Should we just walk in brazenly and take the mother body? She dismissed his suggestion, saying, no, we can't do that. Within the school grounds, anything abnormal will be seen as a threat by the mother body's subconscious and will be eliminated. Look over there at the school gate. A zombie is slowly advancing. A chain reaction occurred. The school zombies began to move toward the school gate and other important areas, places where entry was forbidden. Don't step onto the sacred grounds. Huge discount. Fries in the cafeteria are 50% off today. Seeing this change, Qin Yuan was just as shocked, much like those fries on sale. If we get spotted, it'll cause chaos. We definitely can't go in like this. Lin Yi smiled with satisfaction and said, that's right. So we need to use another method. In a different corner of the school, she wondered, what should we do so that no one else sees? It turned out that 2 female zombies were playing. One of them said, it's fine, no one will come to this place. Qin Yuan, acting like a strict homeroom teacher, caught them in the act. Hey there, this kind of relationship isn't exactly pure. It's something the teacher would call puppy love. His sudden appearance made one of the zombies blush. Wow, he's so handsome. The other zombie was quicker to respond. He's a man, my boyfriend. Qin Yuan sighed. I didn't expect you to be so indiscriminate. Kids these days really are so casual about love. But sorry, I have real business to attend to. All right, you 2 pearls, time for a nap. With a couple of swift moves, he knocked the 2 zombies out. He took one of their uniform shirts. Getting a uniform was the first step to success. Awesome. As long as I wear this shirt that smells like a zombie, I won't be easily detected. He looked at Lin Yi and added, do you think this will work? It looks a bit strange. She replied casually, it doesn't matter. This level of disguise should be enough to fool those mindless creatures. It's really just a simple step. Next, we need to get closer to our target. In the classroom, Professor Ouyang Swan was teaching at the board. She turned around gently to remind the students, attention everyone. I'm about to explain something very important, so please don't get distracted. The zombies sitting at their desks could only groan. Qin Yuan felt a shift in his understanding. Is this what Mother's body is like? Forcing zombies to learn really is crazy. Lin Yi had a serious expression. I told you before, these zombies are influenced by Mother's body through Ouyang Swan's eyes. In reality, they behave like normal students, listening attentively to the lecture. Hearing the commotion in the class, Ouyang Swan turned back. Hey, you over there, do you dare to talk during my class? She used her chalk skill, pardoning Qin Yuan. He was startled. What the hell? What power is this? Qin Yuan quickly leaned to the side to dodge the attack, but the person sitting behind him wasn't so lucky. He looked back in fear. This strength is too much. Is this really the power of Mother's body? Aoyang Swan reminded him. That classmate isn't paying attention in lectures. You should come to my office later. After class, he felt this was a golden opportunity, just in time. In the blink of an eye, I'll have a job and win over the mother figure. As long as I can get the core fluid, the mission will be complete. Livy issued a warning. You can't use overly aggressive tactics. If the mother figure feels pressured, not only will I become uncontrollably aggressive, but her extreme mindset could spread throughout the entire environment. If that happens, getting the fluid won't ensure our safety. So what should I do now? I can't just love the mother figure and make her willingly give up the core fluid. Exactly, plan A. Use this face to make Yang Swan like me. If that works, she won't feel threatened and will obediently give up the core fluid. Qin Yuan, hearing this, thought of something else. Are you ready? Have you undergone my special tutoring session yet? Desire surged in his mind as Qin Yuan started scheming. For something like this, you want me to be the bad boy who deceives the feelings of a single female professor? No way, I'm out of options. Professor Yang, to save the world, I guess I just have to sacrifice a little bit of myself. Lin Yi continued, that's right, there's also a plan B. Qin Yuan, his mind filled with desire, replied, I don't need that plan, I will definitely win her over. Just wait for my victorious news. In the teacher's office, Yang Swan was arranging lesson plans while muttering to herself. I must be getting harder to deal with. Could it be that I've been lonely for too long? The sewing machine, a Qin Yuan brand, began to operate. Professor Yang, I'm here. She started lecturing Qin Yuan, no fooling around. Even though the school doesn't prohibit relationships, you still need to be careful and not display it during class. You should focus more on your studies rather than just chatting with your girlfriend. He quickly explained, she's not my girlfriend. To be honest, I have liked someone else all along. Who do you like? It doesn't concern you. I hope you can focus on class. Before he finished speaking, Qin Yuan took her hand. It does concern you, because the girl I like is you. Yang Swan pulled her hand back, feeling a bit flustered. I'm your teacher. Besides, I really dislike students who don't work hard in their studies. Qin Yuan smiled sweetly, saying, Professor Yang, I'm really focused on my studies. Every word you say, I remember it deeply. Having been around, Yang Swan didn't believe him. I've seen many smooth talkers like you. This is a test I created. If you want me to believe you, you'll need to prove it. Qin Yuan sat down at the desk and made a proposition. If I can complete this, I hope Professor Yang will reward me with a kiss. Let's do it first and talk later. Yang Swan, feeling a bit flustered after a long time without a challenge, thought, how frustrating, I'm actually starting to waver. I can't let myself fall for him just because he looks good. Truly impressive, he muttered as he looked at the problem, breaking into a sweat. What the hell? What is this? Don't tell me I need to solve this. I don't even understand the question. Am I supposed to rely on sheer willpower? Fortunately, a system came to his rescue. Right, I remember there's intelligence boost in the marketplace that can temporarily enhance math skills. Before tackling his calculus exam, Qin Yuan prayed to the math gods like those who came before him. Archimedes, Gauss, Descartes, Lagrange, Pythagoras, Riemann, Isaac Newton, Lao, please lend me your wisdom. After receiving a boost of confidence, Qin Yuan felt self-assured again. With this topic, he truly is a genius. His speed in solving problems left Yang Swan astonished. This pace is incredible. The questions I've given are all at such a high difficulty level. Qin Yuan finished and began to submit his work. Okay, I'm done. Take a look. To her surprise, Yang Swan exclaimed, how is this possible? It's completely correct, and you solved it so fast it leaves me. Seizing the moment, Qin Yuan leaned in and kissed her. She found it hard to resist. A sudden kiss like that? Why can't I push you away? Eventually, she accepted it and went along. Darn it. Could it be that I can't resist smart guys like you? Qin Yuan quickly moved on to the main topic. Professor Yang, our genes would definitely create extremely intelligent children. The situation was escalating too quickly for Yang Swan, who was still in a daze. Wait a minute, I'm not ready yet. But the one making the decisions wasn't her. Qin Yuan pushed her down onto the desk. We're having an academic discussion. Next, let's explore simulation 1 and 2. Just as things were heating up, there was a knock at the door. Professor Yang, we have a few questions we need to ask. Seeing that it was her students, Yang Swan panicked. It's the other students. You need to hide quickly. Qin Yuan cursed under his breath. Damn it, they're clearly just a bunch of zombies. How could they possibly be here to learn? Is this really interrupting me while I'm trying to save the world? 2 slow-moving zombies walked in. Professor, In Oh Yang Swan's eyes, it was a different scene. It was two female students coming to ask her about class. Professor Oh Yang, I didn't understand a few things during class. Why is your face so red? She fumbled for an excuse. Oh, I just feel a bit warm. Do you have any questions? I can help you. Qin Yuan, hiding under the desk, kept lamenting. How deeply involved is Professor Oh Yang that she can actually influence a bunch of zombies like this? He looked at what was between the white legs and smirked a little cheekily. Thinking again, he said, I haven't tried my new skill yet. Professor Oh Yang, let me explore it a bit. On the table, she was lecturing two students. It was about a cylinder falling into a groove, creating surrounding friction. The pleasure surged from below, causing Professor Oh Yang to moan in delight, unable to hold back. The two female students asked with concern, Professor, are you okay? Why is your face so red? It turned out that Qin Yuan under the table was using an old skill to massage her feet. Unexpectedly, even though she was a zombie, her body remained quite sensitive. Oh Yang Swan tried to endure it and continued, let's proceed with this topic as the friction increases. But the one below wasn't willing to accept it that way. He kept pushing forward, making her tremble with pleasure. Professor Oh Yang was forced to wrap up the lecture saying, I'm sorry. I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable. I'll explain this question to you tomorrow. The two students left, saying, all right, we're heading out now, Professor. Take care of yourself. After they left, she bent down and scolded. What were you doing under the table just now? Qin Yuan turned on his charm and said, there's no other way. How could I resist someone as beautiful as Professor Oh Yang? Besides, didn't you agree to be my girlfriend? Seeing that things were getting a bit tricky, Oh Yang Swan thought to herself, being the girlfriend of my student is totally out of the question. I need to find a way to turn him down. I like men who are talented and knowledgeable. Being good at studying alone isn't enough. He also needs to be athletic. Qin Yuan quickly replied, no problem. I'll wait for you in the gym after school tonight so you can see what it really means to be talented and knowledgeable. As he reached the door, he added, Professor, you must come. Well then, I'll take my leave. Professor Oh Yang felt a bit helpless and said, wait, I'm not going, so you should just give up. Just as she stepped out, Lin Yi was waiting right there. So, what happened? How did it go? Qin Yuan calmly responded, don't worry. I'll give it my all to save the world. Lin Yi scoffed and said, you're trying to save the world, but we both know you're just chasing after something you want. I won't even call you out on it. Qin Yuan didn't hide his intentions and admitted right away, that's true, but I really want to expose your plan. Lin Yi, on the other hand, didn't linger on that topic. Dream on, let's get to work. The situation can change at any moment, so we need to solve this as quickly as possible. Back in Professor Oh Yang's office, she rubbed her temples, thinking, I clearly decided not to go, but now I'm having doubts. Oh Yang Swan, you need to set a good example and control yourself. Then she glanced towards the gym. The lights were on, so it seemed he had arrived. No way. As long as I don't show up, he will definitely give up. At 10:40 p.m. in the office, Oh Yang Swan stretched tiredly. A few hours had passed. Surely, he must have left by now. What surprised her was, why were the lights still on? Oh Yang Swan quickly ran to the gym. Hey, Qin Yuan, have you been waiting here all this time? Something rolled over and caught her attention. Qin Yuan waved from the court and called out, Professor Oh Yang, you're finally here. I knew you would come, so what are we waiting for? Let's tackle the next topic. What do I need to do for you to accept me? Professor Oh Yang picked up the basketball and said, it seems like no matter what, you just won't give up, huh? Why don't you try shooting 3-pointers 100 times in a row? Qin Yuan responded confidently, making 100 3-pointers is really tough, but for you, Professor, I'll give it a shot. In his mind, he was almost certain he could manage it. He just needed to swap something out at the store, and the system wouldn't let him down. If you can do it, I'll agree to any request you have. Oh Yang Swan added, don't just think it's you. Even Stephen Curry couldn't accomplish this. Qin Yuan seized the ball and said, all right, I won't hold back anymore. Before anyone knew it, he had changed into a different outfit. Actually, I've been secretly training for 2.5 years. Qin Yuan began, just watch me shine. Music started playing, and this scene was hard for anyone, including the admin, to describe properly. Professor Oh Yang stood nearby, bewildered. Are you supposed to shoot? Why are you suddenly dancing? Can this even be considered dancing? Since Qin Yuan started playing music, he has successfully tossed 13 balls in a row. For the 14th ball, he wore a new outfit. The 52nd ball was thrown while turning around, and the 88th ball was thrown using his shoulder to the rhythm of the music. Finally, the 100th ball was also successfully thrown. After a long session, Qin Yuan wiped the sweat from his forehead, letting out a sigh of relief. Oh Yang Swan, standing beside him, was completely captivated. Why is my heart beating so fast? It feels like I'm back in the summer when I was 18. She imagined her high school love and her first taste of forbidden romance. Was this indescribable excitement the essence of youth? Just then, at an important moment, Qin Yuan snapped her out of her thoughts. "Professor, what are you spacing out about?" Still lost in her daydream, she blurted out, "I was imagining what it would be like to go to school with you, watch movies together, stay at a hotel, shower together, and enjoy the thrill of a first date." Qin Yuan couldn't help but tease her. "Oh, Professor, you look so flustered, saying what's on your mind without realizing it. I didn't expect you to be so adorable." Aoyang Swan was so embarrassed that she didn't know where to hide her face. "I'm not. I didn't mean that. Don't say such ridiculous things." Qin Yuan moved closer to her face and said, "I've made 100 baskets, Professor Ouyang. You should keep your promise, right?" She still felt a hint of hesitation inside. "I've seen your sincerity. If it weren't for the forbidden love between teacher and student, you could have gotten to know each other earlier. But does the difference in our status and age really not matter? You're still a student. By the time you grow up, I might be an old lady." He covered her mouth with his hand, silencing her. Then, in a sweet tone, he said, "Don't say such negative things. Age doesn't harm the professor. It just makes you more attractive. Besides, when you're with me, every day will feel like you're back at 18. At that moment, loud screams echoed throughout the school. "Help! There's a monster!" Just as things were getting intense between Qin Yuan and Ouyang, she heard the cries for help. Something was happening outside. Then, Ouyang Suan quickly ran out. "No, I need to check this out. Wait, I'll go with you." He thought curiously. I clearly didn't hear any sound. The crowd of zombies outside was in a panic, running everywhere. A metal chain flew out from behind the swarm of zombies and wrapped around one of them. The system announced, "Principal Zombie, Class B description. In life, he enjoyed exploiting and oppressing students. After becoming a zombie, he continued doing the same." It picked up the chain that was binding the zombie and said, "Students tasty." When Aoyang Swan saw the Class B zombie, she couldn't believe her eyes. How can this be? The scene of students running and crying for help began to shift in her mind, and the image of the frantic crowd morphed into slow-moving zombies moaning, "Ugh." The world around her felt turned upside down. Yang Swan suddenly realized, "I remember now. I am no longer human. Everything is just an illusion I created to deceive myself." The Class B zombie instinctively turned towards her. "You're strong. I want to bite you." It launched the chain towards her, saying, "Come here." The metallic chain was just a few steps away from her when clang! A sword intercepted it. Qin Yuan held his sword up in front of her and said, "Ouyang Swan, motivate me. This isn't the time to be spacey. Whether it's zombies or humans, don't you want to protect your students?" Taking advantage of their distraction, Qin Yuan was also pulled over. "You come here too." The zombie knocked Qin Yuan's sword away and he fell to the ground. "Your meat smells so good. Come merge with me." He didn't care and charged at the creature. "Who wants to eat a piece of rotten meat like you? Take this punch." His fist sank deep into the zombie. "What?" To Qin Yuan's surprise, the fat had absorbed all the impact. "Not good. I need to defend myself," but it was too late. He still took the blow. The zombie felt confident that victory was in its grasp and sneered, "Become a part of me." Just then, Professor Ouyang's voice rang out along with a powerful front kick. "Get away from me." Qin Yuan stared in awe at this cool scene. The zombie was sent flying a few meters back and had to brace itself with its hands. It yelled angrily, "You idiot, don't defy my orders." Then it swung its chain again to attack her, but this time it was caught off guard, unable to match the earlier attack. Qin Yuan looked back with joy and shouted, "Professor Ouyang." She took off her glasses, exuding a fierce determination. "Not humans, not zombies. I will absolutely not allow anyone to harm my students." With a swift motion, she swung her arm, and the chain shattered with a terrifying force. Ouyang Swan charged forward, landing a punch on the zombie's face. Weighing several hundred pounds, the zombie was sent flying over 10 meters with her strike. Furious, it yelled, "Damn it, you idiot! Look closely. Those students you talk about are just your foolish illusions." Ouyang Swan stared at it, remaining silent. It continued to shout, embedding its hands into the ground. "You're just fooling yourself." Countless chains shot up from the ground, binding the zombies nearby. Cries for help echoed throughout the area. "Help me, save me." The zombie, growing more frantic, absorbed strength from the other zombies, shouting, "So what if you are the mother body? In this school, all the students are my prey. I will absorb all their energy." Its body grew larger by another notch. "With this powerful force, you are no match for me." Aoyang Swan furrowed her brow tightly. "So all this time, you've been looking at students this way. Unforgivable." She shouted loudly and jumped to attack immediately. Boom! The sound of her punch echoed, like two cars crashing into each other. It was so powerful that the shockwave blasted through its back and sent the zombie flying. But it managed to endure. "That's pointless. Do you really think you alone can inflict a fatal blow on me? I've absorbed all the strength of the students. Aoyang Xuan gave a knowing glance behind it. Did I ever say I was alone? Qin Yuan seized the opportunity to leap up, channeling his energy to unleash his ultimate attack. The Holy Light Hammer reappeared in this realm, and with all of his might, he slammed it down, causing the ground and rocks around to shatter and fly everywhere. Aoyang Xuan had to cover her face and step back to avoid the shockwave. After a moment, the dust began to settle, and the Holy Light Hammer remained in place. Qin Yuan stood in the center of the wreckage, breathing heavily. It really is tough to use this move in my current condition. He collapsed from exhaustion and fainted on the two hills of Aoyang Xuan. A voice behind him rang out, "He's just unconscious from fatigue." Lady Yi, in her lowly form, appeared and said, "You're the only one who can save him now." Professor Ouyang, feeling uneasy, responded, "I'm not a doctor. How can I save him?" Lady Yi continued, "Don't forget, you are the mother body. You can provide energy to the zombies. As for this guy, he's only infected in one area, which means you can use your powers to heal him." Aoyang Xuan, feeling rushed, asked, "So what do I need to do?" Lin Yi whispered into her ear, "Just listen for the instructions." Yang Xuan's face turned red. "What? But I don't have any experience with this kind of thing." Lady Yi started to encourage her. "You've never eaten pork, but you've definitely seen pigs run, right? Don't worry, I'll guide you through it." In the teacher's dormitory, Yang Xuan awkwardly asked Lin Yi, "What should I do now? He still hasn't woken up." Lin Yi, acting like a child with the voice of an old lady, said, "Can we be serious for a moment? Even though he's unconscious, he can still feel something." Yang Xuan was determined. "If this could save him, I will give it a try." Lin Yi, like a romantic comedy director, urged, "Don't waste time. Let's get to work. Start with a kiss." A heartfelt kiss might awaken his subconscious. Yang Xuan, blushing, retorted, "I get it, but why do you act like a director? Your taste is really strange." Feeling a bit shy, she leaned closer to Qin Yuan's lips and kissed him deeply. A few seconds later, she noticed, wait, it's tongue. His tongue is moving. Yang Xuan broke the kiss and anxiously called out, "Hey, are you awake?" Lady explained from the side, "That's a conditioned reflex, like when you tap a tendon with a hammer and your knee jerks. This means your actions really stimulated his subconscious, and now we can move on to the next step." Yang Xuan still hesitated. "Wait, I'm not ready yet." 3 hours later, Lin Yi watched the entire process in amazement. You don't wonder the mother body can last so long. The energy is truly incredible. Lin Yi led Yang Xuan to a private room to rest. "You've worked hard. Please rest here for a bit. I'll go to see him now. I'm sure everything will be fine by the time you wake up. I'm counting on everyone." Then she fell asleep. Lin Yi went to the room where Qin Yuan was lying. The room was quiet. Unable to hold back, she kicked Qin Yuan's face. "Stop pretending and get up." He sat up, smiling wryly. "Ah, thank you so much for covering for me. Without you, things wouldn't have gone so smoothly. Have you received the serum yet?" She held up a vial of blue serum, looking thrilled. "Of course. It truly lives up to being the mother body's serum. The effect is very clear." She started to inject the serum into her arm just a tiny bit. Her body began to change, returning to its original state. "My body is back to normal." She admired the dress, impressed that it could handle her F-cup figure without tearing. Qin Yuan referred to the pact between them. "So you won't forget the agreement between us, right? If I manage to get the serum for you, you'll." Lin Yi turned back and replied, "Why are you getting so worked up? I don't care, but you just dealt with Yang Xuan." She slightly mocked him, saying, "Right now, looking like you do you really think you can pull it off?" Despite being exhausted, Qin Yuan replied confidently, "Hey, you can't just say that men can't do things." With the system backing him up, he wasn't worried at all. At that moment, the system proved helpful, deciding that she would go. The system notification popped up. "Man's treasure. Effects include rapid recovery of stamina. Note, you have used it. She has used it. All have used it." Qin Yuan opened the bottle and downed the entire contents in one go, making sure he drank every last drop. He coughed up blood, but then said, "Great, I'm back on my feet. Come on." Lin Yi was teasing him, and it turned into something serious, which didn't make any scientific sense. Qin Yuan shot back at her. "Your body as a doctor can change in size, so why do you still care about what's scientific?" Lady didn't hesitate anymore. She stepped forward. "This is the first time I've conducted such a dangerous experiment." Then a series of notifications appeared, indicating that the experience points for the unlimited charming technique had leveled up. After the mission wrapped up, Qin Yuan asked with satisfaction, "I didn't expect this to be Dr. Lin's first time conducting the seed experiment. Were the experimental results promising?" Livy, looking a bit serious, asked him, "Hold on a second. I want to ask you, who do you like more, me or my sister?" Facing this critical question, Qin Yuan cleverly dodged, saying, "That's a tough one to answer. How about we all hang out together sometime? That way, I can compare better." Haha, Qin Yuan really is quite sly, isn't he? Lin Yi stood up, looking really nice in her outfit, and added, "But I have to mention, is it because you were infected by zombies that your energy recovery ability is at least dozens of times better than a normal person's?" Suddenly, something caught her attention outside. "Wait a minute, how could this happen? You have to come look outside. All those zombie students have turned back into people." The students in the courtyard were astonished. "Huh? What's going on?" Lin Yi's face lit up with excitement. This clearly indicated that the authentic mother body serum had the ability to transform the zombie virus. If they could collect more samples, it could definitely research a way to eliminate the zombie virus. Qin Yuan jumped to his feet, saying, "What are you waiting for? This place is safe now. Go get Ling Lai and Jai Xu over here and let's prepare a plan for our next steps as soon as possible." In Professor Ouyang's private lounge, she squinted her eyes, possibly about to wake up. Exhausted, she propped herself up like those guys who always have to get up for work. She wasn't sure when she had fallen asleep. Qin Yuan pushed the door open and said casually, "Oh, you're awake. How did you feel?" Startled, she immediately snapped, You, what are you doing? Hurry and put some clothes on. Don't act so shameless." Qin Yuan glanced away. "Sure, I can get dressed, but don't you think you should put on more clothes yourself?" Realizing she'd been caught off guard, Ouyang Swan shouted, "You jerk, don't look. Turn around, turn around." A few minutes later, Ouyang Swan had finished putting on her familiar outfit. He shamelessly said to her, "Don't worry, I see everything that I should and shouldn't see. The moment I saw you earlier, I wanted to have you a few more times." Professor Ouyang sighed. "How could I even think about that right now? My students, they are all." He took advantage of her moment of confusion and smoothly suggested, "All right then, let's make a bet. If I can help one of your students return to normal, you'll help me out once. How about that?" Ouyang Suan couldn't believe her ears. "You can save my student? If that's true, don't say just once. I'd do it 100 times, 1,000 times, whatever it takes." He got ready to open the door. "You said it. Remember, you won't have time for anything else after this." Behind the door were the students who had returned to normal. They eagerly asked, "Oh, Professor, you're back. We were really worried about you. Are you feeling okay now?" Ouyang Suan couldn't hold back her excitement. "Everyone, you're all back to normal." She opened her arms to welcome them. "Come here so I can see all of you." The students, overwhelmed with joy, rushed to embrace Qin Yuan first. "I'm so glad you're okay. We were so worried about you. I'm feeling a bit off. Can I ask the upperclassmen to check on me?" Qin Yuan casually reassured everyone, "Don't worry, Professor Ouyang and I will protect you all." Seeing this, Ouyang Suan couldn't contain her anger. "How dare you treat my lovely students like that? Let go of them." Then she chased after Qin Yuan from behind. "I won't forgive you for this." "Stop! You can't run in the hallway, Professor Ouyang. I was wrong." Dr. Lin had arrived at the scene and stood at a corner, feeling impressed. "I can't believe that guy is really colluding with the mother body." Lin Yi somehow appeared behind him and chimed in, "Wow, that's quite brazen. I just got here and already caught you getting all physical with someone else. You won't be jealous, will you?" Dr. Lin maintained a straight face and replied, "Are you kidding? Why would I like someone like him?" Lin Yi probed further. "So, if that's the case, even if I swooped in and stole them away, you wouldn't mind, right?" Dr. Lin pulled Lin Yi closer. "Don't do anything silly like that. Don't think I don't know. You're just using him. You're the type who doesn't really care for anyone." Lin Yi directly stated what he wanted to do. "Whether I like him or not doesn't matter. I just want to take away the things you love. After all, I've always enjoyed competing with you since we were kids, right?" Dr. Lin couldn't continue speaking to Lin Yi for that reason. Jai Xu ran out of the meeting room, shouting, "Everyone, come here. Information about the second mother body is about to be unlocked." The system announced the unlocking of Lin Yi's character card. 4-star level. Accompanying skill, advanced scientific knowledge. The character card for Ouyang Swan was also unlocked. Accompanying skill, virus control. In the teacher's shared office, Qin Yuan stood with Ouyang Swan. "So that's pretty much the situation. Do you understand now?" Ouyang Swan pinpointed the main issue. "So among the participants in the experiment back then, there were 3 mother bodies, and I am one of them." He nodded. "Exactly. That's why you have the ability to control and revive zombies. If we can find the other 2 mother bodies, we might save the world." Jiaxu next offered an invitation, saying, "Come join us. This world needs brave heroes to move forward." Ouyang Suan quickly agreed, saying, "I understand now. We need to get this world back on track so that students can return to normal. I'll lend you a hand." Meanwhile, Lin Yu was searching through data and added, "That's great. The opportunity for you to help us has arrived. The information for the next mother body has been unlocked. The image of the second mother body appeared on the computer screen. She was as beautiful as an idol in the eyes of the admin. Aoyang Swan exclaimed, the second mother body? That's Xinya. Qin Yuan was curious. What? You know her? Aoyang Swan raised an eyebrow, questioning back. Don't you? She's a rising idol right now. A lot of my students are fans of hers. Qin Yuan was even more intrigued. Why would someone like that participate in the experiment? The zombie expert Lin Yi explained at that time she was suffering from throat cancer. To continue her career, she took a risk and joined the experiment. Those drugs had the potential to cure her. According to the data, when the zombie crisis hit, she was performing a concert in this city. That's right. Aoyang Swan added. Being a mother body herself and able to control zombies to some extent, she said, I'm assigning this mission to both of you. Aoyang Swan entrusted her two companions with the task. I want to go. However, I need to rely on you all for the school and the students. Let's head to the location where the mother body is. They arrived at a large stadium. In front of the entrance was a big poster displaying Xinya's image. Qin Yuan and Aoyang Swan were walking slowly towards it. Professor Aoyang, don't worry. When the zombies appear, I will protect you. The zombies outside caught the scent of Qin Yuan and began to get restless. Men, I smell a man. Ah, it's mine. Taking advantage of the situation, Qin Yuan stepped forward and warned, be careful. I really am a talker. Professor, stay behind me. But Aoyang Swan took immediate action herself. Stop! The chaotic zombies suddenly fell silent and halted in their tracks. Qin Yuan stammered as he turned around. You can really give orders to the zombies. Aoyang Swan was just as surprised. I don't know why I can use this ability, but I can feel that the farther I am from the school, the weaker my power becomes. So, if too many zombies show up, I won't be able to do anything. Qin Yuan and Aoyang Swan rushed in as quickly as they could. It's fine. After all, the zombie crisis has been going on for a long time. If we're lucky, the zombies inside might have already come outside, and there shouldn't be too many left inside. But he had underestimated the fandom and the influence of Xinya. The sports field was packed with zombies. Xinya took the stage with a mic and began, Are you all ready? Let's welcome the dawn together. The fans below shouted passionately, Xinya, we love you. You're so beautiful. We adore you. Signs were raised everywhere. Xinya is the strongest in the universe. Qin Yuan sighed. It seemed like she, like everyone else, mistook herself and the audience below for normal human beings who didn't want to wake up. Aoyang Swan asked about the next step. So what are you going to do? If we confront them directly, we might have to fight all the zombies here. An idea struck him. In that case, let's get straight to the point and wake her up. In the backstage area in the dressing room of the stadium, Xinya was posing in front of the mirror. What should I wear for the next show? Which outfit should I pick? I need to decide quickly. I can't keep the audience waiting. A voice came from behind her. Hello, Ms. Xinya. Qin Yuan had appeared on the bench without her noticing. Xinya jumped and turned around. Who are you? How did you get in here? He stood up to reassure her. Take it easy. I'm not a crazy fan. I'm just here to tell you something that you might not want to accept. Wake up. You and the audience are actually zombies. Xinya laughed lightly, her face showing disdain. I already knew that. Qin Yuan was taken aback by her response. What? You know that you're all zombies? Then why do you want to stay here? Xinya proudly patted her chest. Because now I can be an idol. I can hold a concert that never ends. That has always been my dream, and all the brute members who held me back have vanished. Now, everyone in the audience is a fan who belongs solely to me. Xinya said proudly, Of course I'm different from those mindless zombies. You should just leave. Oh, and if you want to become a fan of Xinya, I might consider it. Qin Yuan shot back, They're not really your fans. Those zombies are just instinctively drawn to you because you're the mother body. She was so caught up in her own fame that she couldn't hear him. Xinya didn't believe him at all. I'm the most dazzling and charming idol. You wicked one want me to lose fans? Just disappear. She grabbed a remote and pressed a button. A mechanism under Qin Yuan's feet activated. The floor suddenly opened up, and he fell through, cursing, You little witch, just wait and see. At the bottom of the secret chamber was a locked room. Qin Yuan rubbed his backside and complained, Ouch, that hurts. What kind of place is this? In the dark corner, he spotted two eyes watching him. Huh? Is there something over there? Those were two former members of Xinya's music group, now transformed into zombies. A man, the scent of a man. I want. The two girls pounced on him like two hungry wolves. Hey, wait a minute. Don't do that. Qin Yuan gritted his teeth. If you keep this up. With a boom, he unleashed his immortal golden body and sent the two zombies flying away. He confidently stood up. Since you won't stop, I won't hold back anymore. His sewing machine activated its zombie-slaying wizard mode, launching a series of Buddhist spells. Buddha's light stick, single needle at the crown chakra. The two zombies slowly regained their awareness and bodies. Oh, I feel like I'm back to normal. What's going on? The two girls, now back to being human, asked in confusion. Qin Yuan questioned them. Now that you're back to normal, let me ask you, where are we? Who are you? And why are you both dressed like Xin Ya? The girl with purple hair and a sharp expression replied, So, you were also thrown down here by her, huh? I'm like Su, and she's Xing Yan. We used to be an idol girl group with Xin Ya. Xing Yan continued like Su's thoughts, but I can understand why, right after the zombie outbreak, she could command other zombies and then lock us up here. Qin Yuan listened to the story and became more curious. They're all members of the same girl group, so why would she treat you like this? Lai Su immediately shared her thoughts. It's probably because she's the least popular among the three of us. Maybe she's jealous of us. Xing Yan interrupted her like Su. Don't say that. Qin Yuan nodded seriously. No, like Su's theory might be true. Right now, Xin Ya has completely lost herself in trying to win over fans. That's why we need to work together to help her wake up. Like Su and Xing Yan both look deflated, but we aren't a match for her. Besides singing and dancing, we don't know how to do anything else. Qin Yuan didn't share their doubts. No, you two will be the most important pieces in my plan, so I need your help, will you? Both girls immediately agreed. I'm in. I agree too. But how do we get out of here now? Leave that to me. Qin Yuan picked up the phone and called, Sister Xuan, I've sent you the coordinates. No problem. I'll be there right away. A few minutes later, bam, something crashed through the wall, sending bricks flying everywhere. Yang Xuan shook her hand and stepped through the hole. It looked like this was the place. Like Su and Xing Yan were amazed and shouted, Wow, she just punched through the wall. She's so cool. Yang Xuan walked over, her eyes narrowing as she glanced at the two girls before turning to Qin Yuan. Why is it that wherever you go, new girls always seem to show up around you? Maybe it's because of my unique physique. He quickly shifted back to the main topic. Sister Xuan, I've thought of a way to get Xin Ya out, but we all need to work together to make it happen. The next day, Xin Ya was performing amidst the cheers of her fans below. Thank you all for always standing by my side. There will always be just one Xin Ya in everyone's eyes. Suddenly, a voice rang out from behind her. Wow, that's a bit selfish of you. Xin Ya turned surprised. That voice is. Like Su continued, it's been a long time since we last met. Do you remember me? Xin Ya looked confused and asked, Why are you all here? The two of them seemed to ignore her question and kept introducing themselves. Today is the debut performance of our music group. Welcome to our new members. Yang Xuan calmly stepped out from backstage, though her mind was racing. So embarrassing. The last one was Qin Yuan, who confidently introduced himself, and I'm Xiao Yun. We are charming. Seeing the fans' attention shifting away from her, Xin Ya began to shoo them away. Who are you? This stage belongs to Xin Ya. Qin Yuan issued a challenge, saying, No, this is the stage for idols. Are you bold enough to accept our challenge? Hearing this, Xin Ya scoffed. Are you kidding? I trained for 2.5 years as a trainee idol. How could I possibly lose to someone who popped up out of nowhere like you? Despite her confident words, she felt differently inside. She thought to herself how cute she still looked. Qin Yuan's charming demeanor and spark were hard to ignore. Her eyes then drifted downward as she realized that his physique was no less impressive than her own. Feeling her confidence shaken, Xin Ye gently patted her face to reassure herself. It's okay, keep your spirits up. The audience down there are all fans of Xin Ya. I won't lose. Xin Ya began to warm up the atmosphere. Next, she invited everyone to enjoy her singing. The crowd erupted in excitement, chanting her name, Xin Ya, Xin Ya. She smiled to herself, feeling a sense of pride. See, this is my home turf. Suddenly, Qin Yuan's voice rang out. Xin Ye looked up in surprise. Huh? Her? His singing silenced the entire arena. After a moment, the crowd below broke the silence, gasping, That sounds amazing. The voice was so beautiful. It seemed like a sound from nature itself. It was a sound that only those on the brink of death could truly appreciate. Qin Yuan noticed the audience's wild reaction and smirked to himself. The singing skills of the succubus I gained from Care's card, combined with my charm, really do have outstanding results. Meanwhile, Xin Ya began to panic, feeling the need to regain control of the situation. Everyone look at me. You're all fans of Xin Ya, so you should focus on me. The stage lights come on. An announcement signals the start and the play begins. 4 performers, including Qin Yuan, sing and dance to the music. Apartment, 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 apartment. Ah, aha, aha. Kissy face sent to your phone, but I'm trying to kiss your lips for real. Aha, aha. The song ends with Qin Yuan solo voiced as he blows hearts to the audience below. At this moment, the crowd no longer chants Xin Ye's name. Instead, they cheer for Xiao Yuan and Charming. Xin Ye stands frozen on stage, looking towards her once loyal fans. Why? Didn't you all promise to always be fans of Xin Ye? Why are you betraying me? Her dreams have now been shattered by her fans. She covers her face on the verge of tears. It can't be. Why are you betraying Xin Ye? Seizing this moment, Qin Yuan gently pats her head like a bad boy, comforting her, taking advantage of the situation to mend these breaking hearts. In Xin Ye's eyes, Qin Yuan stood like an imposing mountain. He reassured her that they were just being swept away. If she wanted to be an idol again, she should join them and help save this world. Xin Ye felt like she had found a lifeline. Coach, I want to be an idol. Like Xu and Xing Yan praised him, saying, "Oh, this guy is interesting. He really has brought Xin Ye back to normal." In the backstage lounge, Qin Yuan struggled to take off his shirt, cursing silently in his head. Tan, if I had known, I would have chosen the smaller sides. This is cramped and uncomfortable. Then he decided to just revert back, forget it, and transform straight into a man. Knock, knock. A soft knock sounded at the door. Xin Ye walked in, saying, "Sorry, I have something to ask you." Qin Yuan was slightly surprised and turned back. "Oh, what's up?" In his mind, he was fuming. Oh no, the transformation process got interrupted. Xin Ye entered as if she were at home. "Sister Xiao Yuan, can you teach me how to be as charming as you and win the fans' love?" Qin Yuan hesitated, wanting to push her away. Let's hold off on that until I finish changing, okay?" Xin Ye quickly moved closer. "All right, that'll help you change. Let me take this off." With that, she pulled her pants down right in front of him. What appeared before him was nothing short of astonishing. It left her speechless. Qin Yuan's fireproof sewing machine. Wow, this is truly the source of charm. You want to give it a try? Xin Ye was hooked but shyly replied, "If Sister Xiao Yuan wants to teach me how to achieve that charm, I'm willing." Qin Yuan stood behind her, locking Xin Ye's hands. "Are you ready? I'll show you my allure." Xin Ye answered nervously, "I really like you, Sister Xiao Yuan. You're beautiful and capable, and you even resemble a boy. With a guest like that, it would be a waste if Xin Ye didn't play the lottery." Qin Yuan's voice whispered like an enchantment in her ear. "You guessed it right. I'm definitely the boy." "Surprised, old lady?" Then came the sounds of Xin Ye's struggles echoing from the room. "Wait a minute. Don't make noise." Like Xu stood outside, her face flushed. She hadn't expected things to progress this quickly between them. Like Xu licked her lips in desire, almost drooling. Handsome and reliable Qin Yuan is much better than those pretty boys. Aoliang Xuan felt a bit taken aback and asked, "Is he really as great as you all say he is?" Whether he is or not, Xin Ye is the best proof of it right now. She was so caught up in her excitement that she lost track of time. Qin Yuan began filling her head with skewed ideas to idolize him, saying, "Can't you handle a little hardship? I'm just helping you build your endurance." Two girls entered the room, their voices filled with playful complaints. It would be so unfair to give only Xin Ye special training like this. It was like Xu who boldly spoke up for both of them. "Let's all join in the special training together." Xin Ye quickly responded, "What? Why are you guys here? How can we explain when we're in this position?" The other two didn't seem to care and moved closer, playfully enticing Qin Yuan. "We're a team, so of course we should share the struggles together." Right, sharing the struggles. Qin Yuan was facing difficulties, and any teammate should step up to help him out. He reluctantly said, "So this isn't some kind of unspoken rule, right?" Like Xu, while playfully drawing on Qin Yuan's arm, replied, "Of course, it's an unspoken rule, but it's really our secret rule for you." Then they switched to a different kind of charm, adding that this was a special reward. "This is a treat for you since you saved our lives. Keep it a secret, though. If the fans find out, it would be a real bummer." The Qin Yuan sewing machine wondered why it would refuse these two pieces of meat. "Well then, today I'll have you experience comprehensive physical training. This photo is really hot." 2 hours later at the school where Lin Yi and the others stayed, the students were buzzing with excitement. "Did you see that? She's so cute. Wait a minute, isn't she a famous idol? I wonder if I can get her autograph." In the teacher's room, Xin Ye was introducing herself. "Hello everyone, I'm Xin Ye. I'm very honored to be part of this project." Dr. Lin reminded her, "This isn't your stage. We are your fans, so you don't need to be overly polite." Lin Yi's older sister was even more on edge. "I'm just saying, you don't want to use this opportunity to gain more fans, do you?" Xin Ye's eyes watered up and she looked like she was about to cry. "You two are really scary." The Qin Yuan sewing machine chimed in. "When it comes to shark tums, they really are like sisters." Lin Yi shyly said, "No, that's not it." Dr. Lin, with a frozen expression, sighed. I can't believe it. You can be shy sometimes. Seeing a conflict about to break out, Qin Yuan quickly intervened. All right, this isn't the time to argue. We finally unlocked the information about the mother body, right? As long as we find her, we complete our mission. Lin Yi calmly replied, there's no need to unlock it because the final mother body is actually me. Qin Yuan asked in confusion, then why didn't you tell us sooner? Her eyes grew sad, losing their spark. Honestly, I wanted to live a few more days. He was taken aback. Wanting to live a few more days? What do you mean? She continued to explain, to create a vaccine, we have to eliminate the mutated virus within the mother body. Then we could study it using reverse engineering. The level of the virus in those two was relatively mild, but the virus in my body has spread to my brain. That meant Lin Lai, who was nearby, responded in shock. If you forcefully eliminate the mutated virus, you'll die. Lin Yi grinned and winked, saying, you really are my sister. So smart. With you like this, I can relax. I'm handing the surgery over to you. From now on, you'll be the great doctor who saves this world. Dr. Lin's face darkened, and she shouted, what are you joking about? She turned and walked away, saying, I don't need your help. I'll find a better way myself. As soon as Dr. Lin left, Qin Yuan spoke up. Do you really think she'll perform the surgery herself? Lin Yi has everything arranged. I owe her too much. This is the only way I can repay her. Only she can perform this surgery now. Don't worry, she'll be on time for the operation tomorrow. The next day, in the hospital's operating room, Ouyang Swan and Xin Ye urged her, Miss Lin, are you really ready? You don't have to rush into the surgery like this. Lin Yi was always like this. She presented her reasoning in a convincing way. If we keep delaying, who knows when the virus in both your bodies might invade the brain. At that point, all three of us might end up dead together. Qin Yuan asked, do you have any unfulfilled wishes? I'll do my best to help you achieve them. Lin Yi replied with a hint of joy. What I want most right now is for you to serve me well. Qin Yuan clicked his tongue in frustration, thinking he still had time for teasing me. At that moment, the surgery room door flew open. Dr. Lin burst in, out of breath, saying, I've figured it out, a different way to create a vaccine. Lin Yi, skeptical, responded, how can that be? The current plan is the most viable option I've researched so far. There can't be another method. Dr. Lin slammed a stack of documents against her chest, saying, I've analyzed all the information we gathered. The virus works by controlling the host body through sex hormones. As long as the mother body is continuously stimulated at a high intensity for an extended period, the vaccine can be produced through the hormones released. Sorry, but this time, I'd outsmarted you. Qin Yuan, feeling doubtful, asked, is that scientifically sound? Dr. Lin replied, well, there's nothing to lose. Still probing, Qin Yuan asked how they could possibly stimulate the mother body continuously and at a high intensity for so long. The gazes of the three girls were like cats eyeing fish as they looked at him. Wait, what kind of looks are you giving me? Qin Yuan sensed something was off and started preparing to run away. Can we do one at a time? I'm not Taputa. Please don't all come at me at once. Dr. Lin stepped in front of him with a slightly mischievous look. Just listen obediently. You're the one who made the suggestion, so you have to take responsibility for what you've done. Then Qin Yuan found himself tied up tightly on the operating table. Xin Ya and Ouyang Swan were working together to restrain him. We'll hold him down. The situation with her is urgent, so you should go first, Xin Ya said. Lin Yi didn't hesitate to step up, motivated by the urge to save the world and them. Do your best. The system notified him that the unlimited charming technique had leveled up. Lin Yi sharpened his knife while cheering him on. Qin Yuan, humanity will remember your contributions. When it was Xin Ya's turn, she chimed in, of course, that's quite a heavy responsibility. 4 hours later, Xin Ya finished her task. Sister Chuan, it's your turn now. Disappointed, she replied, that's not necessary, let's take a break first. Qin Yuan lay weak and exhausted on the bed after 4 hours of intense fighting. I'm so tired, he groaned. Lin Yi, not believing it, told the other two, he's not that weak. Most of it is just an act. Lin Li, hand it to me, he said. Lin Lai took out a syringe and cautioned, this is a miracle drug. Don't use too much. I'm worried his body can't handle it. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing, Lin Yi replied, feeling sweet inside. When she called him little brother, he found it surprisingly endearing. As Lin Yi injected the drug into Qin Yuan, he explained, this physical enhancement medicine is a miracle drug developed by a secret research institute. It helps the user quickly regain their strength. After getting the injection, Qin Yuan felt something shift. This feeling. His strength began to return, and with the boost to his resistance, he really felt like an idol. His sword was drawn, and he said, you two are very brave. I'm ready now. Xin Ya was terrified under his imposing presence. Sister Xuan, I'm scared. Are you scared too? Lady reassured them, no, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just that the reaction after the injection is a bit strong after the first time. Qin Yuan stepped forward. Oh, do you want to try? You three can come at me together. Lady quickly shouted, wait, hold on a second. It was nighttime at Dr. Lin's hospital. She sighed, feeling exhausted, and pushed the door open to step outside. Jake Su approached with concern. Dr. Lin, how did it go? Dr. Lin replied softly, it's a preliminary success. If nothing unexpected happens, we should be able to develop a vaccine soon. Jake Su, wanting to check on the three people, said, that's great news. How are they doing now? Can I go see them? Thinking about their situation and for Jake Su's safety, Dr. Lin hesitated. I advise you not to go in there right now. Jake Su didn't understand. Huh? Why not? Inside the operating room, Lin Yu was pleading for forgiveness. I'm sorry, I was too arrogant. Please spare us this time. He responded, you didn't show me any mercy before. Don't worry, tonight is still long. He glanced at the three people, and then a half-month later, those infected with the zombie virus began to recover. We're really back to normal. What's happening? This is amazing. Everyone is back to normal. The first bulletin after the pandemic announced, recently, strange illnesses sweeping the world are gradually disappearing quickly. The cause is unknown. For safety's sake, we urge everyone to stay home and limit going outside. Qin Yuan was also watching the news. Finally, the situation was resolved satisfactorily. It was such a waste of energy for me. Dr. Lin next to him asked curiously, Qin Yuan, earlier you said you weren't from this world. What did that mean? Levi squinted his eyes and guessed, I bet you don't want to take responsibility for us, so you made up that silly excuse to find a way to escape, right? Yang Xuan, hearing this, felt dejected and chided, that's just too much. The system announced that it had detected the host had completed the mission and could return to the host domain space at any time. A swirling portal appeared behind Qin Yuan, linking the host domain space to this world. Xin Ye and Jig Su were astounded. Qin Yuan, what's behind you? Is it some new virtual reality technology? If you use it on stage, the audience would love it. He explained to them, this is a portal transporting me to another world. I'm not lying to you. My mission in this world is complete. Now it's time for me to go. Dr. Lin wanted to leave home for a guy. Wait, I want to go with you, she said. Qin Yuan, confused about the situation, asked, but didn't you want to take this opportunity to successfully create a vaccine and become a leading medical researcher in the world? She scrambled to find a somewhat tangled reason. But if there's a parallel universe, I want to go to another world and study medicine more in depth. Levi poked through her makeshift excuse. Aren't you usually pretty direct? Why are you making excuses like this? Dr. Lin blushed deeply. No, it's not that. Just like sisters, Lin Yi came up with a similar excuse. If my little sister wants to go, then I'll go with her. After all, I promised Dad that I would take care of her. Xin Ye was excited to join too. Count me in. Xin Ye wants to become a super famous idol in another dimension. Jake Su and Yang Xuan chimed in as well. I want to go too. With my current abilities, I want to help even more people. And I don't have such grand ideas like that. But since everyone is going, I want to go along too. Qin Yuan agreed. So what are we waiting for? Let's quickly pack our bags. Who knows, we might make it just in time for dinner. The system announced unlocking character card Xin Ye, 4-star level, skill included, advanced acting proficiency. Back in the host domain space, Qin Yuan finally arrived. Phew, I'm finally back. The girls behind him couldn't stop marveling. Amazing, it's incredible here. Are we really going to live here from now on? The two Dr. Lin sisters were chatting. We really traveled through space. But compared to that, don't you think the competition here seems a bit intense? Lady noticed Moaning Shuang and Yun Su Han. Over there, Moaning Shuang was being smug. Junior Marshall's sister, looks like I won this time. As Qin Yuan approached, he asked, Won? What were you two betting on? Moaning Shuang replied, we bet on how many girls you bring back this time. I said you'd bring back more than 4, and haha, you didn't disappoint me. Yun Su Han was fuming, grabbing Qin Yuan by his collar. You really can't help yourself, can you? Always flirting with women. Qin Yuan didn't know what to say. This is beyond my control. Dr. Lin looked at the two of them with curiosity and asked, what's going on here? Why are you both dressed in such strange outfits? Are you doing some kind of cosplay? Moaning Shuang replied cryptically, we're dressed this way for a special reason, of course, to meet someone's unique needs. Qin Yuan felt teased and looked downcast. Don't listen to her nonsense. I'll explain everything to you slowly. That night, at a cabin by the lake, Qin Yuan sighed as he sipped his drink. Phew, I finally got everything arranged for them. I can finally relax. Fairy Multiverse appeared. Congratulations, I didn't expect you to breeze through such a tough instance. The system seemed very mature today, probably grown enough to handle some serious action. Qin Yuan saw the system change its interface, and when he spit out his drink in surprise, it splashed all over the system. The little wet spots on its clothing only made it more alluring. Why are you so surprised? Is this really the first time you're seeing me? Qin Yuan was taken aback. Your fairy multiverse? How have you grown so much after just one subversion? She spread her arms casually and replied, my powers begin to awaken as your strength increases. Now that you've advanced past 3 subversions, naturally, I won't be the same as before. Qin Yuan felt admiration. He couldn't believe that after going through 3 subversions, it all felt like a dream. Fairy Multiverse displayed a hint of mischief. That's right. To be honest, when I first met you, I wanted to tease you a bit, make you pick the wrong initial attribute. But now it seems like that was a blessing, helping you unlock the potential of the charm system beyond my expectations. This was probably the biggest shock for Qin Yuan. What? How can that be? That's not random. Why would you want to do that to me? Am I not your host? Fairy Multiverse began to explain because back then, you treated women like toys, using all sorts of tricks to make them like you, then just tossing them aside. You were really quite a scoundrel, so of course, I had to punish you. After hearing this, Qin Yuan sighed in resignation. No need to say more. At that time, I treated life like a game, so is it wrong to regret now? She looked at Qin Yuan with satisfaction and said, ha, I've realized that you treat those girls very sincerely, so I hope you'll help me out a lot more in the future. He extended his hand as well. All right, from now on, let's join forces and move forward together. But Qin Yuan wasn't the type to easily give in. He squeezed her cheek. Interesting. Then he poured the entire bottle of alcohol into the mouth of Fairy Multiverse, his face showing a cheeky expression. You want to tease me and punish me? Let's see how I'll punish you. Fairy Multiverse wiped her mouth and coughed. Cough, cough, what did you just make me drink? Still wearing that mischievous grin, Qin Yuan replied, ha ha, that's my special happy wine. At first, I was planning to pick a lucky girl to spend the night with, but I didn't expect you to just come to me willingly. Fairy Multiverse felt shy, caught between wanting and not wanting. That can't be. I'm just a system doll. How can I possibly be with you? Qin Yuan turned on his charming mode. I'm your host, the system, and you belong to me. I can do whatever I want with you, and it's totally reasonable, right? Seeing her still hesitating, Qin Yuan leaned in and surprised her with a kiss. He noticed his points skyrocketing. 120, 180, 210 accumulated points. As he saw the points increase dramatically, he wondered, why am I getting so many more points than usual? Fairy Multiverse answered him, it's because of the energy leaking from my body. That's an invalid action. Can't be. It can't be. Qin Yuan thought of something. Oh, so the game itself has a buff. Don't blame me for that.